on January 13th, 1976. He lost a decision as two judges overruled the referee. Now let's go to Bill Diodizio.
Ladies and gentlemen, this will be a 10-round bout. From Brockton, Massachusetts, weighing 159 pounds, red trunks with a white stripe, the marvelous Marvin Hagler. On my right, from North Philadelphia, red trunks with white lettering, weighing 161¼ pounds, Bennie Briscoe.
I think the best way to identify these fighters is Marvin Hagler has a beard.
Yeah.
Almost everything else is identical.
Yep, except the Jewish star on the trunks worn by Briscoe.
Right. Briscoe is wearing the Jewish star. You know, we talked to the promoter, Russell Peltz, before the fight, and he said that neither fighter would relinquish on wearing the red trunks, so he wasn't going to have them argue about it.
That was a good move.
Bennie is looking away as referee Tommy Reed tells the fighters the instructions. He's turning his back to Hagler. They're not done yet. Reed calls him back. What's this tactic for?
Well, that's another that would be just like Bennie Briscoe growing hair. He normally stares right into the eye of the opponent. He's right there on him. Tonight, reverse psychology.
Briscoe, 35 years old. He's been a pro since 1962. He's fought for the world title 3 times and lost to Rodrigo Valdez, the last time in November 1977. And here we go with round 1. Hagler, a southpaw. Briscoe has fought left-handers twice and beat them both. The last time he fought a lefty was earlier this year in Kansas City when he took out Tony Schiavorini.
Yes, you can look for Bennie Briscoe right now to stop. You can look for him to fire his awesome jab, which is neck-bending.
And Briscoe, perhaps his best as a body puncher.
Yes, he is, believe me.
Hagler uses both hands, got a sharp jab. He's a boxer puncher. I don't think you'd call Bennie a boxer.
No, he isn't. He's a stalker. He's a mauler. He's a destroyer. He's Bennie Briscoe. He's the only fighter in the world today which has gained, they say, multiple amounts of respect from former champ Carlos Monzon.
And Bennie is already bleeding from the nose.
Yes, he is.
Hagler dancing, changing directions, throwing that jab. Briscoe stalking. Good left to the jaw by Hagler. Good combination by Hagler.
Hagler landing good short shots on the inside. Bennie's got to get out of here. He can't just walk, stalk, and not punch. It's just unheard of when you're fighting someone like Marvelous Marvin. On the other hand, Marvin is moving an exceptional amount more than he normally does. Normally he has a short circuit. Bennie's taking it away from him. He's absorbing punishment. But I think Bennie may have a pretty good strategical plan here.
1 minute to go in round 1. Both fighters in red trunks. Briscoe has the Star of David on his. Hagler has a beard.
Hagler looking for the big right hook. Hagler having to start awful fast may have an effect on him down the stretch. Bennie's used to going 10. He's been 10 more than 50 times. Not more than 50 times, about 10 times actually. Really rough with an opponent like this man right here, Marvin Hagler.
Briscoe bleeding from the nose.
Run, use the jab. That's all you're going to do is run. Use the jab.
10 seconds left to go in round 1.
You're making him stop. Use the jab, son.
Briscoe misses with the left and the right. Here's the end of round 1, some punching after the bell. And I would have to say the first round goes to Marvin Hagler.
Hagler, definitely.
This is a 5-point must system. And the bell does not save you in Pennsylvania. There you see Bennie Briscoe. Briscoe is rated 5 by the WBA, 10 by the WBC, and 5 by Ring Magazine. Briscoe always stands between rounds.
I once asked him about that, Pete, and he says sitting down and getting up makes him tired.
Marvin Hagler, rated 8 by the WBA and 8 by the WBC, but 1 top contender by Ring Magazine. Both fighters looking for a title match with champion Hugo Coro, who took the crown from Valdez in Italy earlier this year. Round 2. It's expected that champ Coro will give Valdez a rematch in December. And then the winner of this bout is expected to get the next title shot. Hagler coming out of the clinch with the flurry. Hagler from Brockton, Massachusetts, the hometown of Rocky Marciano.
You know, in Brockton, they say he's the baddest thing there since the Boston Strangler.
Hagler scoring. Hagler right now just a little too quick for Bennie Briscoe. Hagler thinks he has enough youth, enough of an advantage in age. Briscoe turned around. Hagler tried to wait to line him up. Briscoe still bleeding from the nose. Hagler stopping to punch, then moving the opposite direction, putting on a lot of mileage.
That's it. The agility of Marvin Hagler is really puzzling Bennie. Bennie has a real problem with boxers, especially southpaws. I can remember Rafael Gutierrez dropping Bennie with a good right hand and a good solid left hook from the southpaw position earlier in his career at the arena.
Bennie has him against the ropes now, but Hagler moves. Hagler, I think, has stopped a couple of times on the ropes when Bennie has scored. There we see it again. 1 minute to go in round 2.
I'll tell you, Hagler's in it with a real pro. Bennie Briscoe he's sort of symbolic in the middleweight division. He's the type guy that everybody dreams of beating, every upcoming promising fighter. If he's a middleweight, he's looking forward to beating a name like Bennie Briscoe.
Coming up on 30 seconds to go in round 2. Briscoe has solved a little bit of the puzzle of Marvin Hagler in this round.
Yes, he has, and I think he's done that with firing great body shots that he's so awesomely known for.
Good left jab by Briscoe.
Briscoe seems to be really on top of Hagler, and I think it's really going to take its time.
Big crowd at the Spectrum, the best crowd of the year. There's the end of round 2.
I'm going to score that one for Bennie Briscoe on aggressiveness.
I would say so. Marvin Hagler says that Briscoe is made to order for him. He says that Bennie made a mistake by not fighting him 2 years ago. Hagler claims he's much stronger now, much smarter, and he's got youth on his side. And he says Bennie Briscoe is a stepping stone for me. He's a name. He's had 3 shots at the title. And Marvin says if he beats Bennie, Coro cannot duck Marvelous Marvin. Coming up on round 3 now. Hagler with the beard. He's the southpaw. Briscoe with the Star of David on his trunks. Bennie coming in, trying to bore in a little quicker on Hagler. Hagler gets off the ropes, going to the center of the ring. Bennie would like to fight him at the center of the ring, wouldn't he?
Yes, he would, but it would have to be toe-to-toe. Marvin's doing the right thing for a man of his skill. He's got the box. He can't stand there and trade with Bennie. Bennie is awesome on the inside, and I do mean awesome. He throws tremendous shots to the midsection. As you've seen him when he stopped Bob Patterson in New Jersey in his last outing, tremendous shots to the solar plexus.
Hagler's really working on the nose. It started bleeding 30 seconds into the fight and has not stopped. Good uppercut by Hagler. Some good body punches by Briscoe. Both fighters scored there.
Both these men have to be in fantastic shape. I mean, for 3 minutes around, it's stalker versus puncher, and it's really a consistent amount of action.
Hagler perhaps received his greatest publicity in an article in Sports Magazine earlier, Sports Illustrated magazine earlier this year. Gave him some national publicity. Hagler trying to keep Bennie away. Right now in this round, he's doing a pretty successful job.
But how long can Marvelous Marvin go on? He's doing a great job now. He's boxing from both sides.
1 minute to go in round 3.
Bennie is really putting the pressure on. He is cutting the ring off. That's a mark of a real pro when you can see a guy who has a runner that has him just moving at his pace and in his direction. I don't think Marvin needs to stand there any longer than he just did.
Hagler can exchange punches with Briscoe. They're both knockout artists.
Yes, they are.
Hagler has 33 in 43 fights. Briscoe has 50 in 82 fights. The ratio, I think, is a little bit in favor of Hagler. 10 seconds to go in the round. Good uppercut by Hagler. There's blood over the right eye. Hagler's cut over the right eye.
He's definitely cut over the right eye, and that can really be a contributing factor. And I think it really came from a butt, not solid punches.
There you see referee Tommy Reed, and now Hagler's corner in the background working on Marvin. Is that a yawn?
No, I think that's more or less a huff to try and get that mouthpiece out.
Let's take a look at the end of the round on the replay so we can determine how that cut was open.
Really a headbutt. If you can see him on the inside, there you see him hitting Bennie. Bennie's stalking him. He's taking his time. He's constantly getting hit, though. But wait a minute here. You should see them on the inside. That's the end of the round.
We never did see anything to open
right,
the cut.
But if you'll look a little closer, start of the next round, you'll see Bennie with the head movements on the inside.
Round 4. Hagler cut over the eye. Briscoe bleeding from the nose. Let's see if Bennie tries to work on that right eyebrow. Does this change your fighter's plan? Will Hagler
Yes, it could. But again, Hagler has a considerable amount of experience. He seems to be sticking with his plan, although he is widening the circle that he's moving on. His punches, they're pretty much the same as they were in the first round, but they're lacking the accuracy. You'll notice he's trying to get away, and he's using now all of the ring, as to where in the first 2 or 3 rounds he was using a small circle. He's widening the scope.
Pretty even fight so far. 1 minute gone now in round 4. Briscoe against the ropes.
You know, you have to stop and wonder what makes Bennie Briscoe go on. I mean, he's 35 years old. For the past decade or so, he's fought the best that there's ever been, and he continues to amaze people.
He just got that right eyebrow of Hagler again. I think the cut is open. What makes Bennie Briscoe go on is some real good paydays. There's a clinch by Hagler.
I've got a feeling that Bennie just might wear Hagler down. If it goes into the 6th or 7th round, I'm going to have to go with Bennie. Change my prediction.
Hagler bleeding again from that right eyebrow. 1 minute to go in the round.
That could really be a problem. It's over the eye, too. It could easily dip into the eye.
He's winking because blood is getting in the eye. Less than a minute to go in the round. A lot of blood around the eye of Hagler. Bennie gets that jab over the eyebrow.
That jab is the most unorthodox but the most effective jab in Philadelphia boxing.
Hagler scoring with head punches. But Briscoe wearing down that body, and that eye is getting stung every time.
Marvin is starting to open his mouth to breathe. Another sign of fatigue. You can see Marvin now. He's opening his mouth to breathe.
Approaching the end of round 4.
5 seconds left.
This is some great infighting. Here's the end of the round. The end of round 4, and Hagler is really cut over that eye.
Yes, he is.
I'll have to give that round to Briscoe on the basis of the damage he did to the eye and the stalking.
There's a doctor in the corner now. That'll probably really shake Hagler up. Although he has had a considerable amount of fights, there's still the point of him being a younger fighter. He's not going to have to deal with that cut the way Bennie Briscoe would learn how to. Bennie's not.
Once again, would like to welcome our viewers in Boston Garden, and should mention we have a New England flavor to this telecast because I grew up in Massachusetts, and our director, Frank DeVincentis, is from Situate, just south of Boston. Round 5. Hagler comes out with a sneaky right. Clean, but sneaky.
Yep, but then again, remember they tell you, protect yourself at all times.
That's right. Briscoe looks like he just comes right at you.
That's it. And if you'll notice, he changes really good direction for a 35-year-old fighter. It's like he has some form of radar as to where his opponent is. He's right there all the time. He's taking advantage of the openings. He's not a great headhunter, but he's really a tremendous body puncher.
Hagler wants to punch it out now, I think. I think he wants to get this fight over with.
I don't think he really wants to do that as bad as he may seem. I think what's happened is he's trapped there, and he's a little too tired to really exhaust himself and getting out.
Now he throws Briscoe against the ropes. That doesn't faze Bennie.
No, Bennie's been thrown against the rope by
the best of them.
The very best of them.
As we said, he's fought for the world championship 3 times.
Yes.
Hagler looking for his first shot at the world title.
And fought 5-time world champion Emil Griffin on 2 different occasions.
Against the ropes.
Hagler seems really fatigued. He's leaning back on his heels, and we've got almost 2 minutes into the round. Bennie wanting to be a little apologetic there for a little low blow.
Blood dripping again from the right eyebrow of Marvin Hagler. Blood all over the eye.
Yes, there's blood dripping down Marvin Hagler's right eye and down the right side of his neck.
1 minute to go in the round. Is there enough blood? Is it cut enough for the doctor to ask that the fight be stopped?
Well, actually, what's going to happen is that it's a judgment call again. The fighter may not feel that it is. The corner may not feel it, but the doctor does have the last say, and it's very difficult to say.
Hagler rallying. Some good punches to the head of Bennie Briscoe. Hagler scoring late in the 5th round.
Hagler's eye does look a little angry now.
Left hook by Hagler. Uppercut. I'd say Marvin has rallied here in the last half of this round to at least get the 5 points or win the round. And it's just about back to even as we're halfway through this fight. Here's the end of round 5. Bennie Briscoe says that he's not really leery about fighting left-handers, but he says you can't train for lefties in the gym every day. Southpaws create trouble for everybody, but he says the money is good, and that's why he took the fight. We have the attendance here at the Spectrum, 14,930. That sets the record for the largest indoor non-title fight in Philadelphia. Make that in Pennsylvania history. The old record was just over 13,000. Gypsy Joe Harris against Emil Griffith.
My idol.
Round 6. Hagler coming out with that jab. Briscoe tries to bore in, and I think Briscoe connected with the punch to stop Marvin's movement for a moment. The cut over the eyebrow was opened in the 3rd round. Briscoe has been bleeding from the nose since the 1st round, but it has been under control, that it's never been very heavy. Now the blood comes again. Body punch exchange. Hagler with the beard. Briscoe with the Star of David on his trunks. 2 minutes to go in round 6. Left hand by Briscoe.
That's the terrible left jab of Bennie Briscoe. I really believe that if Bennie Briscoe can really mount his attack one full 3-minute round, it could change the fight around. But right now I have Marvin Hagler ahead. If you notice, he's opening his mouth an exceptional amount because he's needing that air. Bennie is really putting pressure on him.
Halfway through round 6 now. Hagler beating Bennie to the punch here in round 6.
Yes, he is. He's not punching hard, but he's punching constantly. And that's what it takes to beat Bennie Briscoe.
Briscoe scored his 50th knockout here at the Spectrum in May against Bob Patterson. Good punch by Hagler. 1 minute to go in the round.
Marvelous Marvin has to be in fantastic shape. He's got 4 more rounds after this, and believe me, it can be very, very crucial and hot in there when you're in there with Bennie Briscoe. You notice the calm and the non-changing look in Bennie Briscoe's eyes, no matter what's going on in the fight. He never changes his expression. That's a sign of a true pro.
Approaching the end of round 6. The cut does look bad.
Yes, it does. And if you'll notice on the inside, it's almost a natural movement for Bennie Briscoe to use his head.
End of round 6. Tonight's attendance, as we mentioned, 14,930. A new record here in Pennsylvania for an indoor non-title fight. They expected over 10,000, but this really is a great showing for Russell Peltz, the promoter of boxing here at the Spectrum. He felt this fight should have been on national television. But I noticed in a lot of national ring magazines also that Philadelphia and Boston are somehow ignored because of being in the shadow of New York. Coming up on round 7 now. Bennie goes to the ropes. Hagler punching, then moving. Briscoe just coming straight in. How important in the scoring is the cut?
Well, the cut only plays an important part as far as the danger of it, the nature of it. And here, it's not really a great danger because it's starting, well, it stopped bleeding completely, and Bennie isn't landing as he was, so perhaps this may not be too dangerous at all.
Hagler coming back on the counter punching and puts the right hand in there.
As you can see, Bennie Briscoe is really, he seems a glutton for punishment, but yet still he's one of the highly regarded and most highly rated middleweights in the world today.
Tommy Reed, the referee, steps in between Hagler and Briscoe. Halfway through round 7. Hagler connecting. Briscoe scores with the right. Hagler comes back with the left and another left. 3 straight lefts by Hagler, and I think Briscoe is hurt. Another left by Hagler. He's getting that left in. I think Bennie's right hand is a little low.
Yes, but Bennie's got him standing there where he wants him. He's in front of him, and he cannot stand there. Marvelous Marvin cannot stand there and expect to win this fight.
Uppercut by Hagler. Briscoe bleeding from the nose. Now Hagler was hit by a left by Briscoe.
You know, Bennie seems not to be able to go backwards. That's one of his really, really bad faults. He can't go backwards. Marvin is hitting him at will now. He's touching him. He's hitting him. And Bennie has all but given up. But things really look bad for Bennie Briscoe right now. Wouldn't you say, Pete?
I would say so. 30 seconds to go in round 7. Right hand by Hagler. Left. Hagler scoring on the inside. Right hand. Hagler's getting out of the way of Briscoe's punches. They're right in front of us. Bennie is not scoring, and Marvin is. Good move by Hagler. There's the end of round 7. Marvin Hagler took control of this fight in round 7. We're coming up on round 8 now, here at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. Briscoe has to rally.
Yes, he does, Pete.
He hasn't worked on the cut over Hagler's eye too much in the past 2 rounds. It was opened in the 3rd, bled profusely in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Hagler appears to have more left than Briscoe right now.
Yes, he does. I think Bennie Briscoe's age is an important factor. Many a boxing critic has said it isn't, but again here, as you've seen in that exchange, it was Marvin Hagler getting the better.
Good right hand by Hagler. He's hitting Bennie in the head repeatedly. Now he goes to the opposite hand, goes to the left. He's a natural southpaw. He went right-handed. Now comes across with the right hook. Marvin slipped in Briscoe's corner. 1 minute gone in round 8.
Marvin does a fantastic job of pacing Bennie Briscoe, doesn't he? He's keeping Bennie at bay with the jab. He's throwing enough shots just to keep Bennie off balance. He's not really trying to hurt him. He's winning the fight technically really good.
Now the blood is coming out of Hagler's right eyebrow again.
Let's go. You don't have the photography pad. Show it to me.
Here we go. Body punches by Briscoe.
Briscoe with a good left hook. He slipped a good hook in. It didn't seem to do very much to Marvin. It sort of make him mad. He's digging him. Bennie's hands are really low. I think that's why he's getting hit with that right hand and that straight left hand shot.
Marvin has Bennie against the ropes in Hagler's corner.
Yes, he does. If he stops Bennie Briscoe here this evening, it's going to be really a blow to all the Philadelphia fans.
1 minute to go in round 8. Good right hand, but Bennie comes back with the left. Hagler still has Briscoe, but Briscoe comes back with 2 punches. Good left by Briscoe.
Briscoe has been really eating that left hand all evening. He's taken it and came right back. You see him now. He has Marvin bleeding. Profusely from out the right eye. You can see Bennie starting to take charge of the round.
Oh, that right eye was really hit there by Briscoe. Bennie may have regained a point in this round. Hagler scored early, but Briscoe scores heavily late. There's the bell, and both fighters throwing late punches. And a lot of blood.
I'm going to have to give that round again to Marvin Hagler, too.
Well, I disagree with you there. I'm going to call it even. What a fight.
What a fight.
There you see Hagler. Now let's take a look at the end of the round. A very, very good exchange.
Look at these exchanges. Briscoe with a tremendous left hand, which he's noted for. He's missing with the right hand, but you notice the agility of Hagler. He steps off on either side. He's hitting Bennie with approximately 5 or 6 shots to Bennie's every 2, but you can believe Bennie Briscoe is really holding his own in there. Look at Bennie on the inside. He doesn't seem to be throwing any punches. His hands are low, and the Hagler's handling it. If you can see the head movement on the inside, you notice Bennie rolls his head on the inside. There's the late shot.
Coming up on round 9. Here we go. Briscoe goes to the same spot against the ropes. Hagler hitting Briscoe. Bennie boring in now.
If this goes on at this pace and at this tempo, I can see this fight a draw.
Briscoe has to win these last 2 rounds on my card. Briscoe's nose is bleeding
He's
heavily.
not punching back. That's one of his really bad habits. He doesn't punch back when he's being fired at. He goes totally defense. And I've always been taught the best defense is a good offense.
Hagler has thrown all the leather here in round 9.
Yes, he has.
1 minute gone in the round. Now Bennie comes with some body punches, but it's a little late for body punches.
You never know. The right one in the right place, especially the solar plex shot of Bennie Briscoe, can really turn a fight around, be it 1st or 10th round. Bennie's missing with the hook because he's not stepping. He's standing right there. He's looking at Marvin to throw these punches.
Now he's getting him in the corner. I think Bennie has him where he wants him now.
Marvin is doing a tremendous job. There's that slip move again. That's the move that Bennie Briscoe's got to be aware of. You know what I mean? Bennie's right there. He doesn't have the agility as Marvin does, so he's leaning on Marvin when you're in that corner, and it's making bad.
Good right hand by Hagler. A hook. And another right hand by Hagler. Hagler has won this round so far with a minute to go.
Yes, he has.
Bennie has to really rally. Hagler connects with the right. Briscoe comes
Bennie
back
getting
to
the
the
best
left.
of that exchange with a good right hand. Hagler pouring tremendous amounts of leather on the head of Bennie Briscoe. But Bennie, being the gladiator that he is, hasn't moved back with a step unless forced by vicious throws from Marvin Hagler. I think Marvin has gained a lot of confidence. You notice he's standing there punching, but he's making one big mistake. He's keeping his head in the air.
15 seconds left to go in the round. Here's the end of round 9. We have one more to go. One more to go. Marvin Hagler has been cut over the right eye since the 3rd round, and Briscoe has been bleeding from the nose since 30 seconds of this bout. Hagler coming into the fight 42-1 with 33. The 10th and final round coming up. Tommy Reed trying to get the fighters in the middle of the ring as they touch gloves. Hagler opens up with jabs. Now he's coming in trying to get Hagler in the corner. There has not been a knockdown in this fight.
That's where Bennie makes a mistake at. When he has Hagler cornered, he leans on him, putting his weight on him. Again, enabling Hagler to make that move.
Obviously a pro-Briscoe crowd here in Philadelphia. But the crowd has to appreciate the fight that Marvin Hagler has fought tonight.
Bennie has to be the most symbolic middleweight, or one of the most symbolic fighters ever to come out of Philadelphia.
He's a plugger. He's a worker.
Yes, he is.
He's had a long career. And Marvin Hagler, for the amount of time he's been idle, has fought a lot of bouts for a man 25 years old. 2 minutes to go in this fight. Hagler coming into this fight has won 12 fights in a row, 11 of them by knockout. Halfway through round 10.
You can see Bennie Briscoe is definitely one of the best middleweights you'll ever see to come along for quite some time. He's paid his dues, and believe me, tonight he's showing why they called him in Paris the Black Robot, because he's exactly that. He does 1, 2, 3 all night long.
Hagler coming in, landing some punches. Good right by Briscoe. 1 minute to go in the fight.
Bennie seems weakened a little bit, but he's throwing really good shots to the inside.
Hagler using that left, right-left combination.
I think there was more sound there than anything else, Pete. Briscoe again, leaning and letting Marvin use his own weight against him.
Now 30 seconds left in the fight. The bell does not save you in Pennsylvania.
Bennie Briscoe deserves all of the applause you're hearing here and more. This has been one spectacular show with great sportsmanship on behalf of both fighters.
10 seconds. That's it. That's it. Hagler coming over congratulating Briscoe, and Briscoe did not look at Marvin. Now he just standing in his corner as Hagler comes back over to talk to him. On my card, I have Hagler ahead by 2 points. But we'll see. We don't know what effect if any it has, that the fight is here in Philadelphia. Waiting for the judge's decision. I had Hagler taking the first round, Briscoe the second, even in the third, Briscoe the fourth, Hagler the fifth, sixth, seventh, and the last 3 rounds were pretty much even. We'll be waiting for the decision, and Jerome Artis will be talking to the winner of this fight. We're still waiting for the decision. Once again, we'd like to say hello to all you viewers in Boston Garden. And of course on Prism here in Philadelphia. Now let's go to the ring.
Gentlemen, Judge Paul Harris scores it 43-49 Hagler. Judge John Stewart scores it 44-47 Hagler.
The winner is Marvin Hagler.
Referee Tommy Reed scores it 43-48. The winner, Hagler.
Unanimous decision for Marvin Hagler. And on my card, I had it 44. Make that 48-46. Scored it a little closer.
Okay.
Now let's go to Jerome Artis.
Right here, after the Battle of the Balls with Marvin Hagler, the winner of a 10-round decision over the symbolic Bennie Briscoe. Marvin, tell me, how do you feel?
I feel real great that I got a decision here from Philadelphia. You know, I worked real hard for this fight. 5.5 weeks ready for this fight. I figured to get Bennie Briscoe out of the way, I should be ready for a title shot.
Well, tell me, now that Hugo Coro is the champion and you say that you can knock him out, will you be pursuing a fight with Hugo Coro?
Yes, well, I hope so. He even fought Ronnie Harris, who's a big mouth down there. Ron Harris turned me down for $10,000. Shows you how much he is. Bennie Briscoe is a hell of a fighter. He's a tough man. He takes a lot of punishment. He belonged to have been up there with the top middleweights. Now it's shown that I belong up there with the top middleweight.
Well, Marvin, I think you've certainly proved that. And here this evening, you've seen the Battle of the Balls from the Spectrum Live. Marvin Hagler, Jerome Artis, thank you.
Once again, the winner by unanimous decision is Marvin Hagler. Bennie Briscoe still in the crowd, in the ring, as the crowd somewhat booing Marvin Hagler, but I thought it was a clear-cut decision. Hagler winning 49-43, 47-44, and 48-43. Marvin Hagler now runs his record to 41-2-1. Briscoe now 60-17-2. So the winner by unanimous decision, Marvin Hagler.